Hi, and welcome to ACE Study Guides. Today we are going to work on how to structure and write your speech. This would be a good video to watch if you are currently writing a speech or preparing for your VCE oral assessment. Your introduction needs to open in an engaging way. There is nothing worse than someone starting off their speech with a, "Hi, my name is Ace and today I'm going to convince you with blah blah blah." Instead, you should always start with a hook to get the audience interested. Don't know what a hook is? Well, check out our video, How to Create a Persuasive Hook, for more details. A hook is essentially the opening of your speech. It must be engaging and grab your audience's attention straight away. Next, you have to introduce your topic and contention. This means you need to show the audience why your topic is important, what your stance is, and why they should care. Once you have done that, try to clarify your purpose to your audience. Think about what you want to achieve and what kind of impact you want to make on the audience. Now, the trick is to be subtle. You don't want your speech to sound robotic by saying, "I believe that mobile phones should be banned in schools and I am going to convince you to believe me." Instead, try something like this. Mobile phones distract and prevent you from learning. Online bullying, inappropriate photo taking, as well as the bloody sounds are some of the many reasons why we should not be bringing them to school. Once you have finished your introduction, you should work on the bulk of your arguments, aka the body paragraphs. Your body should have at least 3 arguments or more depending on what your time limit is. Never ever go over time. A short speech is much better than an extremely long and boring one. Throughout each body paragraph, you should be including a sub-argument, a range of techniques, evidence, and an appeal of some sort. I like to focus on a specific set of techniques or appeal for each section. This helps you create a clear tone and message throughout your sub-argument. For example, I might start with an appeal to the emotion at the start to get my audience hooked, make them feel guilty, and maybe a little depressed. Then my next sub-argument might focus on an appeal to logic to let the readers know that I'm not pulling out these ideas out of nowhere. Instead, I am backing up my points with clear evidence to prove that my arguments are credible and believable. It's important that these sub-arguments fall under and directly support your contention. They should also be clear. Try not to go off topic as it can confuse the audience. Each sentence should have a purpose and an impact on the audience. Read over your work and delete any sentence that does not add substance to your speech. Now, remember when I said how you should include a variety of techniques? You should also make sure that they suit the language style and audience that you are targeting. For example, if I am talking to the government, I'm not going to use slang and crack a bunch of jokes. The same goes for the opposite. Imagine talking to a crowd of students and you just go on and on and on about logic and evidence and research. Bore much? I think so. Now here is where I like to do something a little different. I like to make my last argument a rebuttal. This is where you refute and counter-argue opposing points. It's important that you do this at some point during your speech, as it shows that you are well researched and consider all points of views before coming to your opinion. Some techniques that are good for this are comparison, use of tone, evidence, listing, sarcasm, and appeals to common sense. However, it is important that it's an argument that you can completely destroy. There is nothing worse than arguing that the earth is flat when there is so much evidence stacked up against you. Now we are finally at the end. Here is where you should summarize your points in a short and concise manner. Don't list your points and don't say, "in conclusion." Make it memorable, make it engaging, use humor, make them feel something. Your very last sentence should be a call to action, something that you leave the reader with. Your speech isn't persuasive unless your audience does something about it at the end of it. You should try impact your audience in some shape, way, or form. Try to get them to support your contention, act on their newfound knowledge, think or feel a certain way, or change their attitudes. It's important that this sentence is long-lasting. End with a bang. So now you have learnt how to structure your speech, so let's start writing. I would recommend highlighting your use of techniques as you go and get a few people to peer edit your work. Feedback, editing, and refining will help you ace your speech. I hope you have learned something from this video. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube and follow us on Instagram for more.